So a couple of years ago, my friends and I, we went to a country music festival. They dragged me along. I wasn't into country music still. I'm not into country music, but they dragged me along for a Saturday afternoon at this festival, and everyone who attended the festival, at least most of them, were getting into the music the whole afternoon. And then everyone really got into the music when the headlining band took the stage later that evening. I remember watching the crowd get into the music, and I rose to my feet and started to clap along with the rest of the people who were in attendance there at that concert. But right next to me there was an individual who was about a second off beat from everyone else, and about a second after everyone clapped, he clapped. And I remember thinking he was completely out of sync with everyone else at that concert. Everyone else was connected, and here was the one person who just was not connected with the rest of the people who attended that night. A couple years later, I was at a worship gathering. People were again getting into the music and having a spiritual worship experience, and they were following along with the worship team. And again, right next to me, there was one person who, as we were clapping our hands, was just a second or two off. And again, it hit me that this person, this individual, was completely out of sync with the rest of the people that attended that worship event that night. See, up on the stage, the worship team was in perfect unison. They were connected with one another. And it was rhythm that was the invisible quality that held that whole worship team together. As we look back at God's creation back in Genesis 1 and 2, we see that there was a perfect rhythm that held everything together. There was perfect harmony between God and Adam and nature, and even Adam and Eve later in Genesis 2. As we look at the world today, we see that that rhythm is missing, that things aren't connected like they once were, that something happened to throw the rhythm off. This fall, as we launch another teen ministry year, I want to invite you teenagers and parents to get plugged in to the teen ministry. As we explore this rhythm, as we look at the perfect rhythm that was established back in Genesis 1 and 2, back at that perfect creation, we're also going to ask the question, what happened? What happened after Genesis 2? What caused that rhythm to be thrown off? What caused people to be out of sync with one another? And then we're going to ask the question, what can teenagers do to reconnect with that perfect rhythm of God?